Welcome everybody. This is me, Sylvester, Yolo.cx. It's really nice to meet you. I'm going to talk about some stuff you can do in Yolo.cx metaverse. So going straight to the details, let me just log in because we cannot do anything there without logging to the system. So when you are logged into the system, you can see the kind of gallery at the beginning. That gallery contains at the moment a lot of rubbish or just experimental ad hoc content, which doesn't really reflect the future idea of metaverse. It's rather kind of experimental space for everyone when we are learning how to build some stuff. And yeah, we have one of the interns, or actually our friends, the world, which is called Bluebees. Let's click on this and let's go to the Bluebees. As you can see, at the moment it's pretty much basic, so I don't want to change anything here. I think Harshini, who created this space, she might find my explanations useful if we try to do something in a different world. I have the world which is called. Let's actually create the world from the beginning. So as you can see, you can click here at the top. There's a create new world square. If you click here, it will open worlds creator. Here there's a basic setup where we have to add the name of the world. So let's say first world, and we can add description. This is my first world. We can change the access settings here. So we can change visibility to visible and type of the world to public. There's a lot of other settings I don't want to talk at the moment, but one of the most important settings is the grounds selector. You can actually traverse left and right and see a couple of pretty much random and not really well designed grounds. Ground is a space which is ground, and the physics engine is also applied to the ground. So when there is something falling down, it's bouncing from the ground. The physics engine at the bottom can have also settings like gravity, and usually the gravity should be quite strong. So we should set up like real gravity 9. So when we've got gravity, we can add the other stuff, like we can choose avatar, and we can change the environment. We can also play with sky colors, like let's say we want just on 2 colors. And in a nutshell, it's everything. We can just click save and ask, are we ready to create first world? Yes, let's do it. So as you can see, we created a space where there's just a simple ground with an avatar in the middle. Because we are really far away from the avatar, we can click respawn button here and we can go closer. But as you can see, it's quite dark. Why it's so dark? So to change light in that world, we need to open a navigation at the bottom right corner, and one of the icons here is a lights GUI. If you will click on this, it opens indeed the lights GUI. As you can see, you can actually drag it. The top of that GUI is a kind of draggable area. The other part is not draggable because there is plenty of folders. There are some buttons. So if we don't like to have this GUI, we just can close it. But coming back again to open Light GUI, as you can see, there's a couple of folders here, but one of the most important options here is Add Light, and there's a selection of multiple types of lights. So by default we can add ambient light, and so if you click on that button here, Add Light, it will add the ambient light. As you can see, everything is now quite bright, but I think this is not what we want in general. Because it's very bright, we can open the folder with the ambient light 1, and we can change the intensity of that light. So as you can see, we can slightly change the intensity. We can also change the color of that ambient. Let's make it a little bit more cold. Let's add it a little bit blue. And the ambient light is a specific type of light which doesn't contain any direction. It's everywhere. As you can see, it's underneath of that ground. So we need also add some sort of realistic ground light. So we've got other types of lights, like we have a directional light. If you will click here and click Add Light, as you can see, it's adding directional light. And also we can open the folder here and play with intensity, so we can really make bright, but let's don't get crazy. We can see where is the source of the light, and we can change position of that light here. So when we've got X, Y, Z, we can actually change the position of that light, and as you can see, Y is vertical, X and Z is kind of horizontal. So when we've got this kind of light, everything is more realistic, like more real environment, when the material on the objects and the ground, it's also responsive to the light. But about this a little bit later. As you can see, also our avatar here is responsive to the light. So we can add many types of lights. But if we don't like the lights, we can actually delete them. We can delete. And it's getting dark again. So let's add only directional light. And let's maybe add point light. The point light it's kind of very complex because it also can no, actually point light, it's not very complex. It's one of the simplest light. If I will move it close to the ground, you will see how it works. So it's very it's like a star a bit. It's a source of the light, which can be, let's say, if you remove the directional light or make it intensity 0, we can have like a little point light somewhere. So for instance, if you would like to have like a couple of in the darkness interesting points with the light, we can clone that light, for instance, and when we've got cloned light, we can also just like move it to the different position, and we can change the color, for instance, to something more interesting. Maybe move it a little bit higher. This way, the virtual reality space can be really rich in very interesting lighting. So when we are, for instance, happy with our lighting, we need to do something which is mandatory at the end, and this is a button save, because if you close this and we will just close the world, the lighting will be lost, so we have to save it. So next time, if I will close this panel and we will leave this world, and we will go to the different world, like let's say we will go to the base, another experimental world, and we will decide to come back to the world we just created. The name was, what was the name of the world? It was the first place or first world? Yes, first world. So I think we need a bit more ambient light in general. As you can see, we've got those lights saved, but we need, if we add ambient light, and we need to just slightly, gently make it like a cold blue. This is green. I'm not blind, color blind. And what we need, we maybe need to save it again, and we need to play with the sky colors. So let's say we would like different sky color, which is different kind of blue, and we can add additional gradient point here. So let's say we've got like a more orange instead of red, and yeah, and we can save it. If we will save it, oh, it seems like there's something lost. Yeah, I guess we lost the ground. That might be a bug in this world. But look, when we got gallery of the grounds, sometimes the ground might be lost, and that's the thing. I need to fix it, so don't worry about this. It might happen, but as one of the solution is now the second part of this lesson, that we can create custom ground. So when we've got a custom ground here, it's a GLB file. Let's for a moment jump to the Blender, which is our favorite editor, and if we create new general scene, we can delete default cube, and let's start with the mesh, like plane. So we can, for instance, make that plane 20 times bigger, and we can do some sort of sculpting. So it's good to change the lighting here, and it's good to also add the material. The ground can be some sort of gray, and when we go to object mode, we can jump to the sculpt mode. To sculpt it, we need to do some sort of remeshing, so it will add more geometries. So sculpting is pretty much easy. We just drag the. Okay, we need add more geometry here. Yeah. So yeah, we can just drag the cursor, and we can do some simple sculpting like this, which is pretty much boring. It depends on the lighting, and we can change to the edit mode and, for instance, do some kind of more drastic changes to the geometry, or we can create some little hills, just dragging a couple of points. And do remember to switch on the proportional editing, because without proportional editing, it just like when we drag a couple of points, it just dragging selected single points. So this is not what we want. We want like to have a kind of wider response of the ground, which is very useful. We can also create a couple of craters, let's say. But if I for a moment come back to the sculpting mode, we can do the remeshing a bit. Oops, that remeshing destroyed everything. I think I was thinking about a couple of different possibilities, like we can smooth. Which one? That one is flattening. We can do some flattening here. It doesn't really work like I wanted. But there's something like smoothing. Never mind, this is not the most important part of this tutorial. We just can do some extra selection. We can randomly select a couple of geometries, and I think it's more about selecting vertices. So if I will select randomly, but we can change the ratio, so only a few of them, and we can actually play with the seed. So something like this. Or we can even select using a circle select. So it's just adding, and then we can here in material add additional material, clicking over there. Hello. Oh, we need to press enter, and then we can do this. Yeah. So let's say it's gonna be like kind of dark gray, and we need to assign this to those selected vertices. Well, it's looking strange, but never mind. We can back to the object mode, and in object mode we can choose the smoothing, shade smoothing, and also we can change the roughness a bit of both materials, like we can make it more reflective, and we can save it, just exporting as a GLTF file. So let's export it to the desktop. We can call it first world ground 1. When we exporting this, we need to remember about a couple of features, like basically do not remember to check materials. So when we've got data in materials, change the materials export to WebP, which is a very good format, and also change compression, so everything is compressed. And at the moment also check the data, so the mesh we want to have applied modifiers in the future, and we want also include visible objects. If something is invisible, we don't want to include it. All right, now I guess we are ready to export it. So when we've got this, we're coming back to the Yolo editor, words creator, and we can choose upload button here. When we will click it, it will open file dialog, and we can choose the file we already saved here, first word ground. Yeah, you can click on this. As you can see, it's uploading the file, and sometimes it takes time, sometimes it might fail. If it will fail, it's probably something wrong with a connection or something wrong with the system, because system is now taking a screenshot. Yeah, so we've got uploaded ground. Of course, this is just experimental ground, so don't worry, it looks a little bit rough. But if we are happy with this ground, we can just save it. And we are saving the world with the ground, the new ground here, with the old light. Right. Maybe it's dark. Let's make the ambient light a little bit stronger. Yeah, and maybe directional light, it should be stronger. Yeah, and as you can see, we have a kind of orange surrounding. One of the features in those controls is also that environment sky, and the sky is actually in it's a kind of sphere. If you see, we can go outside. So this is the sphere, which is a sphere. We can rotate it, and if we rotate it, we can rotate it also this way. So we can have kind of crazy gradients. And let's say we are happy with this. We can try. We have to save the light again. We will save the light, and we can try to walk here. To walk, you need to go to the avatar mode, and it opens kind of a it works on the phone, so it's like you touch the dot, and you change the direction, so the avatar is walking somewhere. It's all, of course, very experimental, but as you can see, the vertical position of avatar is updated when terrain is higher, so it's not getting into the terrain, like it's not digging into the wall. So I think this is kind of small ground. Let's make it more gigantic, and if we come back to the Blender, I will just scale it, let's say 10 times, yeah? And I don't like actually those materials. I will just delete and leave this all the materials the same. And there's a one thing when we are changing the world and we are changing the scale of the world, we need to apply transforms. We need to also remember that the 0, 0, 0, 0 cannot be inside the hill because avatar will be inside the hill. So let's say if we will save this world again, exporting as a GLTF file with number 2. Let's go. And if we'll try to re-upload it, coming back to the edit world, custom grounds, we choose the ground number 2. It's uploading and rendering the preview. So it takes some time. You can see the ground is simpler. We will save it, and you can see the ground is simpler and much bigger. So if you want to run in avatar mode, that's a really huge area right now. There's a real hill. You can try to go up on the hill. Oh, that's a lot of climbing. Yeah. Yes, I think this is everything, just basics of creating the world and adding some lighting. I hope it is helpful. If you have any questions, you can always submit bugs using that top left icon and choosing the bug reporting system. And also, if you want to send me a specific bookmark from that world, like let's say this bookmark, you can always use the share add bookmarks icon, which looks like widget, spinning widget. So if you click on this, it will open bookmark and share. Yeah, so you can, for instance, type here a message, the view from the little hill. Okay, and we will add it. So now it's the link is copied to clipboard, but the other thing which is generated in the background is that the bookmark exists here. So it's saved, and if you click on that bookmark, you can see the bookmarks gallery, and as you can see that the latest bookmark is always at the top left corner. The view from the hill. Okay, I made mistake here. But if someone will, for instance, go to the different world, like I will click on that bookmark, and I will go to the different world created earlier from a couple of photos, and then okay, I would like to come back to the first world. So you open bookmarks and you click bookmark, and you came back here to the top of the hill, but your avatar stays at the center of the world. So there's one more thing I didn't explain. We can respawn our view here, because your avatar can also be saved at the specific location. So let's say we'll go to the hill again. We'll climb again. It's a lot of climbing. climbing. Yeah, okay, we have a view here. As you can see, far away over there, there's a center point. We can save that view from here, just pressing save position here. So it will save position, and if you make another bookmark, for instance, right now, I mean, we will make bookmark pressing this icon here. Yeah, if you make another bookmark, second view from the hill. Now save it. This bookmark is there. Second view from the hill. One more thing is, like, as you noticed when we pressed share, it's created a URL you can also share with other users. So for instance, if you will be in Discord, and Discord is a important space, and you would like to share with someone, or we will share this someone here, sharing a view from the top of the hill. So we have a link over there, but the issue is sometimes the link is I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe if you share the link this way, and someone can copy this link, or we can share the link the other way, because we have a space. I think we cannot share the link the other way, but we can just copy paste this link, and you will see there's for the space we have a special way the URL is encoded. So in fact this link, actually, for the sake of the clarity, should be provided as an encoded URL with a 20% 20 here. Yeah. So when it's like this, you can just click it and you can go to the second view. We can at some point, for the clarity, add some posters here, so it's gonna be more fun. Second view. The poster is just a signpost, and we can add here second view. Yeah. And if you respawn to the beginning, we can add poster here. Start point. Yeah. So if we would like to come back to the second view from the hill, we click there and we are here. But if we respawn it, we're coming back to the start point. I think for this tutorial, this is it. I hope it's helpful. I would like to thank you for your attention, and I would like also ask you to come back to the About page and think sometimes about supporting us. So you can send to us questions using Contact Us form. You can ask questions just in a simple way, or if you would like to learn more, there's a section which is called FAQ with a couple of answers. If you would like to have a quick access to the shortcuts, you can press Command / and you have a shortcuts pop-up window with some information. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention, and I hope that was kind of interesting and helpful. See you later in the next tutorial. Yolo.cx